This is the overview video explaining how to answer question 1 on paper 3. We're going to be going over what the examiner will be looking for and how you can score as many marks as you can. Firstly, it's important to know that the question will always look like this. It will ask, give 2 things you can infer from source A about, and then it will ask you to state your inference and the detail from the source that helped you to get that inference. This will always be for 4 marks. All 4 marks for this question are awarded for AO3, and that's really about your ability to use sources and make judgments based on those sources. So that's a really important skill as a historian. Now for this question, you need to give 2 inferences. So they're asking you, what can you infer from the source? If somebody asked you to sum up the arguments of what the source is trying to get across, what would those be? Are there any judgments that you think come across that you can sum up in a sentence? That's all they're looking for, just something that you can sort of grasp from what the source is trying to tell you. Once you've given that inference, and that's worth the first mark, then you need to give the detail from the source that helped you to get there. Now you're more than welcome to use a direct quote from the source, or you can paraphrase it, maybe just explain the quote in a bit more detail or just phrase it in a bit of a different way. However you choose to do it, make it as clear to the examiner as possible. That makes it much easier for them to give you the marks, so try and keep it concise. Now let's take a look at an example of question 1. This asks us to give 2 things that we can infer from source A about the escalation of US involvement in the Vietnam War. Let's take a look at the mark scheme for this question. Now you can see that first of all we need to give our inference. So one example might be that the USA sought to defend its national interests, and just a clear, concise statement like that can award us the first mark. But as we said, we need to identify where in the source we got that inference from. So the second mark would be awarded for saying that without intervention, they feared that there would be quote-unquote further aggression against them and their allies, and that will award us the second mark. Take a look at the other examples here to see other ways that you could have answered this question.